Here's the fourth one. If you remember, Leafy's team lost again, and now it was time for elimination. I told Spongy to get everyone into another grouping. This time I suggested more available spots, saying that Fiona and Flower need to be separated. One of the two had to be eliminated within this elimination or the next. And Tennis Ball was essentially giving good clues on what to do. So I told my team it was best to either eliminate Fiona, Flower, or Tennis Ball, as the rest of their team didn't seem as worthy of elimination. The team agreed, and everyone went out to the elimination stands. They eventually got all of the points in. All right, that's 3 votes Fiona, 3 votes Flower, but 5 votes Tennis Ball. What? No! There we go, eliminate. I was doing so good for my team. Oh well, said the announcer, flinging him right into the TLC. The next challenge is a test, said the announcer. This was going to be interesting. I never actually got to see all of the questions that were on the test when I was still humanoid. All I got to see was a top question, and it was fairly confusing. Since both Tennis Ball and Golf Ball were already eliminated, I decided to do a bit of cheat. I told Spongy that I would go over and memorize, since Sugar, this character I was playing as, had a fairly good memory. The test answers, come over to Spongy, tell him the answers, and everyone would copy off of what Spongy said. And Spongy informed everyone else of this information. Of course, they agreed. I went over and checked the solutions and got all 20 of the answers memorized. I went over to Spongy, told him the questions and their answers, and Spongy then told everyone else the answers. But quietly, so the announcer wouldn't notice that we were an entire team of cheaters, since, to be honest, I didn't want to answer these. The opposing team was having problems, Fiona and Flower being apparently the only two actually having no problems with theirs. Eventually, time came and it was time to turn them in. Snowball had ripped his in half. Rocky couldn't even write. But Flower and Fiona both got 20s out of 20. However, my team was a complete of 20s, excluding Ice Cube, who had to figure out how to write with her foot, as well as Bubble, who somehow got popped. I'm not sure how that happened. The announcer checked our quizzes and put all the test answers together. We were once again the winning team. Ah! Yelled Fiona. Their stupid team is winning every time. We need to get rid of Sugar Cube now, said Flower. I was being kind of an idiot and was simply sitting right on top of Spongy. Then Flower grabbed me I told Spongy, well, yelled, and he immediately caught on. And the chase was on. I don't know what Flower was trying to do at the time, but I quickly figured it out when I was handed over to Fiona. These Jerkazoids planned to eat me, which was something I had never gone through before. In fact, I hadn't died yet in this entire thing. Bubble popped on a few occasions. Fiery was destroyed by water. Fiona had drowned. Essentially, characters were starting to die fairly quickly. It wasn't a surprise, but to be honest, I kind of felt awkward not having died yet. However, I was not planning on a death this soon into the game. Fiona found some sort of cave and got me right down. Being a literal sugar cube meant, dissolving. Similar to how Fiery dissolves from water. Obviously, it was not a pleasant experience. I did get revived though, pretty creeped out, because, dying isn't a pleasant thing. And I decided to get a piece of small chalk. But to be honest, the chalk was actually quite large for me, but it was one of those skinny pieces. And I wrote a little 1 on the back. It was more of just a straight line. I put the chalk down. Luckily, my recovery center was up in the trees. A location that was pretty hard for it to get stepped on. Because, to be honest, if it was on the ground, it would have been destroyed by now. And I would have had to have a brand new one. Which, I guess is lucky. And the tree it was growing on wasn't to be touched by destructive hands. AKA Fiona and Flower. By this point, I wasn't too happy by the two of them, but I saw that Spongy was still chasing Flower. And Spongy was still super mad. Because you didn't just pick up their most valuable team member and just decide to give them to someone who can kill them without a problem. This is also the whole reason why I got Teardrop on my team. If Teardrop is an ally, Teardrop won't be able to come right up to me and just, get right on top of me and kill me. Right then and there. Though I guess dissolving by Teardrop will be better than literally being eaten alive. But a human. So, obviously, it was a new experience. Spongy eventually grabbed Fiery and set Flower on fire. In turn, setting himself on fire because, Spongy's quite flammable. But unlike Flower, Spongy is a sponge and is constantly having water within him. So he was able to take out his own flames, despite how painful they were. Flower, on the other hand, was nowhere near water. And Spongy wouldn't let her anywhere near him. And Flower died. Of course, her recovery center wasn't too far away, so she got revived as well. Now it was a fight between Spongy and Fiona. I am kind of annoyed about this, but also kind of not. But there was a whole reason why I made Fiona in the first place. Fiona was my character. I made her to be a violent character, someone who enjoyed killing things, but for more than just the reason of, hey, they're dead. I made it so she had something called a dragon rage, which happened if she hadn't killed anyone recently. And someone as small as me literally didn't mean much. So she brought out her 2 knives. I thought that once BFB started, she would have all of her weapons. But right now, she only had 2 knives and a single battle axe. And angrily, she chased right after Spongy. Though, being the size I was, and the strength I had, I took her right down. I now realize I could have used this earlier, and yet I didn't. Why didn't I use my strength earlier while Flower was trying to make me get eaten? That was a stupid move on my part. Anyway, day 4, I believe. Yeah, day 4 is now over. After the whole circumstance with Spongy and Fiona. Day 5 will be starting soon. Whew.